Hey everybody, so here's what happened. I had pre-recorded a whole bunch of these Mr. Money Mustache episodes and had them uploaded, scheduled, ready to go on my channel. And I got to today and realized that I didn't have one for today. So we're gonna see how quickly I can get through this episode of the Monday Mr. Money Mustache Motivation, edit it, put a description in, get a thumbnail, and upload it for today. Apologies for the late upload, but hopefully we can make it. Anyway, this episode is from Mr. Money Mustache's blog post that he posted back in 2012 on April 23rd. If you're unfamiliar, Mr. Money Mustache is a very popular financial independence retire early blogger. I will link to this article that I'm reading in the description box below if you would like to learn more about him. If you like his style as much as I do, I will link to the other Mr. Money Mustache episodes that I've done at the end of this video. So without further ado, we'll jump right into this one. It is called Work Goes On Long After the Thrill of Working Is Gone. I almost didn't write this article for you today. It's Sunday night and the MFUMB family has had one of those enjoyable and tiring summery weekends. We were out in the sun all day working in the garden for a while. Then the lady and the boy went off to visit friends for a birthday party while I spent a few hours at the top of a ladder in the blazing heat doing prep work on my house's siding to get it ready for painting next week. Then we all came inside and I cooked dinner while I drank a large home brew, ate a hearty meal, and then spent an hour cleaning up the mess that the weekend had generated. By the end of it all, I was ready for an early bedtime. I looked forward to tucking my son in and then rolling into my own bed before it even hit 9 o'clock. But then I was struck by a brief lightning bolt of panic. Shit, I thought, tomorrow's Monday. Don't I usually put up a Mr. Money Mustache article every Monday morning? I don't have anything ready because this weekend has been so much fun. I'm kind of finding myself in the same predicament. That's so odd how often that happens with this series. I promise I didn't plan that ahead of time. That's weird. Just an odd coincidence. Anyway, luckily the lightning bolt quickly fizzled out and was replaced by a gentle breaking wave of relief. Wait a minute, I don't have to put up a MFUMB article. Who cares if it's Monday? I don't have a boss I need to answer to. I'm not depending on that blog to pay for the groceries. I'll write or not write whenever the hell I want. I don't need to follow a schedule. The Mustachians would surely understand, and indeed they might even respect a retired man taking a Monday off work just to illustrate one of the many benefits of retirement. Ironically enough, the train of thought flowed so nicely that I ended up getting fired up to write something about it, and so here we are with something to talk about on Monday after all. The idea of being relieved that work is not mandatory has actually been popping up in daily life for some time now. Back in January, I spent a pleasant day on the rooftop of the foreclosure project house, soaking up some warm sun while I stripped off 80 years worth of worn out shingles. The next day, I had an average experience heaving sheets of plywood onto the old roof structure and cutting and nailing them into place, while that same sun beat down all day and started to make me feel a bit like an overcooked bagel. By the third day, the fun had worn off completely and I forced myself through a tedious 7 hours of hauling up packages of waterproof underlayment and shingles, opening them and monotonously installing them across the hundreds of square feet of new plywood. Measure, cut, set, nail, 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 measure, cut, set, nail, nail, nail. My hands were black, my jeans were ripped, and my mind longed to do something other than balance on a roof and installing roof materials. Man, I said, I'm sure glad this isn't my real job. Can you imagine doing this every day, week after week, year after year with no end in sight? In fact, when it boils right down to it, many jobs carry a workplace hazard of losing their thrill. Some are, of course, better than others. My gas station jobs didn't last longer than 8 months, the convenience store was good for well over a year, and the engineering work kept me entertained for a solid decade. But at some point, for many people, the thrill of working even the most interesting job may come to an end. At the magical and terrifying point in a job, your mind starts to race. If you're sandwiched between a wall of debt and the cliff of an expensive lifestyle that you locked in for yourself back when the job seemed fun, the joyless job can be quite scary. You've got no options, but you need the money, so you have no choice but to continue the dance. If you thought ahead and set yourself up with just a bit more freedom, skills in other areas, friends in other companies or industries, or savings that will get you through a year or more of unemployment, the feeling is somewhat different. Now the realization that your job sucks can serve as more of just a kick in the butt, motivation to start looking around, stretch your wings, and embark on a challenge of finding new employment, a challenge that will benefit you anyway. The ultimate situation, however, is to be working for the sheer joy of it to begin with. You're learning and staying challenged at all times, because if you fail to do that, there is no pretending that you're not a complete fool for taking a job when you didn't need the money. You can afford to set your standards higher, which in turn may actually make you work harder. Would a financially independent person really sit all day in a cubicle and surf mindless websites while answering the odd email and pretending to work? No. She'd either get some really good and meaningful stuff done, or she'd go home and read a book while dipping her feet in the swimming pool. There's no need for in-between fakey pants work when you are working for the joy of work itself. So that's my answer to all the commenters on other websites that say, but I don't need to save early for retirement. I love my job, so I'll never need to quit. I'm glad that you are so confident, because loving your work is a great thing. But do you really want to lock yourself in by maintaining financial independence on your job? Wouldn't you rather be forced to love your job even more by having the option of the feet in the pool novel reading always looming over your head, keeping you honest with both yourself and your coworkers? It sure works for me. I mean, look at that. The option of not working is what motivated me to work tonight, and ding, here's the article I wanted. The shingle job got finished and the pain of the repetitive work faded away, and now there's only that finished roof I get to see every time I walk by. I'll surely grow tired of laddering around my own house exterior during next week's paint job as well, but that job will come to an end and it will be time to think up the next job that needs doing. And this blog will never become a treadmill of cranking out articles just because a boss tells me they're due. It can go on vacation, or it can grow bigger and better, or it can morph into a touring hip-hop group or a cooking television show if that's what fate decides. Variety, the spice of life. Alright y'all, let me know down below in the comments, are you honestly stuck in a job that you may not enjoy because you have bills to pay and a lifestyle to maintain? I can't tell you how many times I have heard this argument against the FIRE movement. People say, oh, you shouldn't retire early, it's bad for your health, you always need to be doing something. Well, people who retire early through the FIRE movement, I generally find, are doing something, but the difference is they're doing things in life that actually light them up from the inside. They have the choice to spend their energy and effort on things that they truly enjoy doing without thought of whether or not they get paid for that service. And I've heard the argument that Mr. Money Mustache has in this article. People who don't want to pursue the FIRE movement because they love their job. And I absolutely agree with him. It's great if you love the work that you do, and specifically the job that you're in. I love that for you. But there is always a chance that either the job can leave you or something about the career you're in can change. For example, maybe you have a great management team right now, but that changes in the future. Maybe you love your work schedule that you have right now, but that changes in the future. Maybe your job goes away altogether. In this type of current world situation that we're in, I don't think anyone's job is 100% safe right now, mine included. There was a risk there, even though I work in healthcare. There was a small risk there for a time that my hours may have been cut back. Thankfully, that did not happen, but interesting to note that me working in healthcare, I thought I had a super safe position during all of this pandemic, and then it turned out that maybe that wasn't actually the case when things got really slow there for a while. So anyway, these are just little tidbits for thought in your own personal finance journey. The important part of the FIRE acronym is the FI part, the financial independence. Retire early is optional. Personally, I've said it before, but I believe that the FIRE acronym ought to be financial independence, recreational employment. I think that just fits so much better, because many of us in the FIRE movement always have some sort of side hustle or hobby or thing that we like to do that we would love to devote more time to, and that's exactly what we do when we become financially independent. So let me know down below, are you in a job that you love? Is there some things that you might would like to change about it? If those things changed, do you think you would still be pursuing financial independence? Why or why not? I would love to get a discussion going in the comments below about this topic. And like I say, if you enjoyed this article by Mr. Money Mustache, I will link to the rest of the articles that I have done here. Hope you enjoyed, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.